Happy New Year, everyone! Hello, G1s. Welcome to 2016. We're officially away from Back to the Future 2 years, so we've survived that at least. And we would have done this much sooner had my laptop not had some shenanigans going on. But that doesn't matter. After a brief hiatus, we are finally back. We're ready to get things rolling and kick 2016 off with a bang. As always, I am Madhero, and with me, as always, is Gear. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, it's just politeness to go and ask people how they are doing. And usually the response is go that it's doing well, but hopefully that is, genuine.
Well, I'm not here to start telling complicated sob stories about my life and history, so that got too real. I'm sorry.
No, no worries. We all have those moments of realness. It's been an interesting week for me, for sure, at least, in the sense that, well, I've been without a computer for a very long time, and now it's sort of fixed. It's much faster now, but it's its memory got pretty much destroyed, or at least it went from 500 gigs to 111 gigs because of a new hard drive that went in there.
Yeah, it his hard drive got replaced by an SSD, which
Yeah,
is faster but also generally smaller.
yeah, it's a lot smaller, and it kind of blows, and just kind of adds to the frustration that I just really need a new laptop. But gotta do what you gotta do with what you have. But I'm gonna assume people aren't interested in that story, and I think that we just wanted to talk about some video games or just how we've been doing besides the other parts of our life. Like, how was your 2016 celebration? Like, final days of 2015. It's been an interesting year for sure in some aspects.
Cold, mostly.
Yeah, the north has been freezing in the Netherlands. Like, in case you don't know, and well, you probably do in some sense, that Christmas was generally pretty hot in the West.
Yeah, I it was kind of
April,
ridiculous.
yeah, it was kind of ridiculous. Like, it was everywhere, like also in the United States, so that's why I'm saying it for everyone. And we in the Netherlands had the same thing. But now, all of a sudden, in the beginning of the week, at least in the north part, where I'm not, I'm usually in the middle, it's suddenly freezing, and it's suddenly really, really slippery.
Yeah, a lot of public transports got shut down. I haven't had classes for most of the week because they've shut down the academy buildings.
Jesus, that bad, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've been seeing it on the news that there's been just like these snow days for a couple of days. Like and it's supposed to go away tomorrow, I believe. Like a lot, it's gonna heat up again, and everything's supposed to gonna be fine. But yeah, we don't usually have those kind of things, and certainly not here. Like I haven't seen any cut type of snow. But
Well, it does look pretty, but it is rather inconvenient when you've just got a giant sheet of ice over your entire window.
yeah, that does kind of blow. But yeah, for the rest, I've been I've been spending the holidays. Just nice, like just sitting down with my family, enjoying having a wonderful time, just having a whole bunch of nice Christmas day related stuff, and just been doing some important schoolwork in that time as well. But mostly just relax, play video games. I've been playing more Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. I've been really enjoying that actually. That's been really, really nice. And I know I'm kind of late to the party, but I've really gotten hooked to Rocket League.
Really, I
Yeah,
don't own it, but I've heard pretty much nothing but good things.
I like many. I got it through PS Plus. Like I got it through there, and then like I just recently renewed my subscription of PS Plus. So I've been playing that,
Wait,
and
when
it's
did it
just
come to PS Plus?
like in September, like when it released. I think like September. I want to say. Let me check.
Wait, September of this year?
July. It came out in July, and then
Oh, July. Yeah. That was the 1 month I think yeah, that was the 1 month of PS Plus games I missed out on because I was on the other side of the world.
Yeah, I was almost gonna skip it. Like I think I got it at like the last minute, but like everyone was talking about how good Rocket League was, so I was just like, you know what? I'll get like 3 months of PS Plus to go and get this game and see what all the hype is about. And then I didn't play it for a while, but now I've been playing it. It's really freaking good, man. It's super simple. You're a car, there's a giant ball, there are goals, you have to get it into the goal, and that's pretty much it for 5 minutes.
Well, it
But
was on a lot of people's best of the year list, so
it,
I'm
it's
not
like,
exactly surprised that you like it this much.
yeah, it's really, really fun. And it's just like not just as a football fan, but it's just it's been just crazy. Like the community for the modifications to all the cars. Like you can get a DeLorean from Back to the Future as one of your,
Of course you can.
of course you can, but it's just been a really, really fun game. It's like there's not a like in like when you look at it, there's not a whole lot to it, but it's much deeper than you initially realize. It's just super addicting, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. And the community is strong, so I'll keep playing that. And what about you? Have you been playing anything over the Christmas holidays, or?
Yeah, I've been playing Link Between Worlds
Oh, nice.
and
That's
Neko Atsume, but there's not really much to say about Neko Atsume beyond it's super chill and I love it.
yeah. Just take care of some cats.
Yep.
But,
Uh,
yeah, Link Between Worlds. How are you enjoying that? Because that game came out a while ago.
yeah, 2013, but I got it a couple weeks ago, which was fun. I'm really enjoying it so far. I've made a decent amount of progress already. I'm currently doing my third dungeon in low rule.
Mm-hmm.
I've done the water dungeon and the thieves den,
Okay.
and I'm now doing the desert temple because I really wanted the Titan's mitt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the fun thing about Link Between Worlds is you can sort of like choose which order you want to go like of the dungeon. Because that is actually like not a I think that's the first Zelda to really do that instead of putting you on a linear track of
Well, the
hey,
first one did that.
fair enough, yeah, depends on when you found them and all.
And no, Minish Cap didn't. I feel no, neither did Link to the Past. No, yeah, I think this is the second one like ever
Yeah, since you
since
know,
The Legend of Zelda.
yeah, from the 1980s.
I'm really
But
enjoying it. Like
yeah,
it's slightly cryptic sometimes,
mm-hmm.
which can get annoying. Like um and sometimes one thing I was really struggling with is like I've already bought like all the items from the item store. So not just rented them but actually bought them. So now I have so much stuff in my inventory where it's just like I was really struggling with how to get into the desert temple to the point where I forgot I had the sand rod. So I was just like, I was merging into walls, trying different things with my hook shot, and it's just like, oh wait, I have a sand rod. I could just put pillars of sand and walk on them. And then suddenly everything became a lot easier.
Yeah, yeah, stuff like that can happen. But you like, was it a Christmas present? Because Link Between Worlds came out a while ago, right? Or
Yeah, it was a Christmas present. It was the Nintendo Select version.
okay, yeah, yeah, Link Between Worlds is a lot of it's a really good game. It's like
I think it was
it,
GameSpot's Game of the Year that year.
it might be, but I do like it's really impressive, like what they've like going back to Link to the Past, which is all like what people call one of the best Zelda games ever made.
Some people will call it the best, and other people who really like Ocarina will argue with them furiously.
Well, there's always a debate of what the best Zelda game is, and we just kind of let them, even though objectively they're the CDI ones.
No, 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 man. Minish Cap is the best.
You're like in the minority opinion of that. Of many people, I don't think many people would say Minish Cap is like their best, like their favorite Zelda game.
No, I wouldn't either, but it's my favorite Zelda game for 100% absolute nostalgia reasons. But I do appreciate that it has some, like, it had a couple of really cool items that haven't really shown up since then.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Gust Jar and the Cane of Pocky.
Yeah.
I think the cane has shown up in, like, Four Swords or something. But a lot of this stuff didn't really show up very much in other games, which is a pity because I did like a lot of the items in this game.
Yeah, but you see that with a lot of Zeldas, which use at one point like a certain item, then never again. There's very few which stick around forever.
Also, your companion Eslo, I think Eslo.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
just
the hat.
yeah, he's such a grumpy old man, and he's really funny.
In terms of my companions, I tend to prefer Midna from Twilight Princess.
I
But
never played Twilight Princess, so
eh, you know. But we can do this all day with Zeldas coming left and right because there's a whole bunch of Zelda games. But for now, let's focus on a bit of news of the news that there is because not a whole lot happened these past few days, mostly because it's Christmas, it's the New Year season. Either people aren't working or just working on their end of the year stuff, like announcing that, like, hey, these are our favorite games of the year, these are worst games of the year, etc., etc. But we saw some things happen, some interesting stuff. Like, do you want to like? Probably the biggest thing that happened was probably Oculus.
yeah, I'd say so. There was a little bit of hype building up to that. I think 2 days before the actual quote unquote release, they told they didn't release the price ahead of time, but they did release the pre-order date ahead of time, and I think that was 2 days before the actual date. So there was a
Yeah.
bunch of speculation about how much it's going to cost. Most of it was pretty much right on the money. The price ending up being 600 US dollars, and well, 599 US dollars and 499 pounds. And I don't know how many
That's,
euros because I
I
don't
believe,
care.
700 euros.
Pardon, fuck?
I think I was pretty sure that it was 700 euros, but I could be wrong. Let me, pre-order one now.
Well, you can't. They all sold out.
Yeah, well, you can pre-order it.
Yeah, 699 euros.
Fuck, dude.
What?
Yep, the Oculus is pretty darn expensive. And I do kind of wonder because 2016 is for many people, well, the tech bloggers, it's going to be the year of VR. It's going to be where VR is going to take the world by storm and go from novelty to become this big thing. But it seems a bit pricey for that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm not spending $600 and certainly not 700 euros on an Oculus Rift or any virtual reality headsets, no matter how good the quality is.
Yeah, I don't know. I've talked about this before on the podcast. I think that I would probably get motion sick really quickly. My eyes aren't exactly well suited to a VR headset, and so far there are only like a handful of games that I think would really benefit from VR. Like the only one that immediately comes to mind is Keep Talking or Everybody Explodes.
Or nobody explodes. Keep talking and nobody explodes.
Oh yeah, Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
But yeah, that's the one I certainly saw like the most. Like the thing that made me go, "Oh wow, VR is really neat." But yeah, for the rest, the right now like like PlayStation VR has shown a bunch of stuff which look cool.
Oh yeah, there's a Psychonauts game coming to PlayStation VR, and
Yeah,
that
but
robot golf game as well.
yeah, 100-foot robot golf and stuff like rigs and whatnot. But that's we're focusing on Oculus Rift right now. And just like, what's your like? Say that your eyes are perfectly fine, and you thought, hey, this looks pretty cool. How much would you will be willing to pay for an Oculus Rift? Because I'm somewhere around like with a maximum of $250 to $300, and that's already very expensive in my mind.
Yeah, something somewhere around those lines. Because honestly, VR as like neat as it can be, it still feels really gimmicky to me. You know,
It can be super immersive, like in the right hands, but I don't
it's
know. I'm
like
just
it's.
yeah,
I'm just worried of it turning into the new Kinect. You know,
yeah, the thing that everyone is excited for, and then sort of like
and then it comes
goes
out and
away.
everyone's just like, "Oh, is that all?"
I
I
think a
mean,
lot of like I think there's much more you can do with VR and that you could possibly do with the Kinect, and especially not just out like in the realm of games, but out like in other medium as well. But yeah, there's just been like this price tag does not make it particularly consumer friendly.
no.
But you do have to wonder like what are they gonna do? Like is this the regular price for other VR headsets? Because we have the Samsung Gear VR, which is mostly just based on your phone. Like you slot your phone in there and everything's fine. Like it's not. I'm not sure how. Like that's like $100, but then you need like a $600 phone.
Yeah, and I imagine it doesn't work with non-Samsung phones,
Probably not.
even though they might
Then
be Android phones.
yeah, then there's Google Cardboard, which is like you know a piece of cardboard that you put on your head and slot. Then again, slot a phone into and make sure that everything's okay.
That might be neat, considering that's actually like affordable, but I don't know.
It's an incredibly basic form of VR. Like it's just like again a piece of cardboard.
Oh, one other thing that doesn't make the Oculus consumer friendly is, if memory serves, you need a pretty powerful graphics card to use it properly, or at all, actually.
Yeah, it seems like it's going for an incredibly specific crowd. And
I'm
again, like there's something
trying to
super.
remember what the actual card is. I want to say an NVIDIA GTX 970?
Basically, you need something very powerful in order to be able.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do have to see like PlayStation VR has the obvious disadvantages that it's exclusive to the console. I assume at least
Well, at
that
least
it's
that way you get like at least there's the age-old console the age-old console argument. At least that way you know it works.
that is true. Then there's the HTV Vive, which everyone is raving about, but
And is probably going to be the most expensive one of all.
yeah, pretty much. And then there's you've seen some like cheaper variants of but basically VR is gonna be like it's gonna launch this year big time, but is it gonna just be, something for the tech bloggers as we've mentioned, or just how long is it gonna be until this is something consumer friendly? Any idea with that? Or
It's hard to say. Like, I think right now there needs to be, I guess, a way to make the technology more affordable, so that it means either cheaper production costs or just more efficient hardware that's also cheaper to produce, but still offers the same experience.
mm-hmm.
And honestly, even then, VR seems to be such a niche thing that I don't know if it's ever going to be fully consumer friendly.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think I think a lot of people are excited about the idea of VR, but then there's the cost, which is sort of makes people. But who knows? Maybe it actually will, catch on. Like all the pre-orders are gone from the original Oculus Rift.
And by gone, he means completely sold out, not just like,
Yeah,
whoops, we lost them.
but
Sorry.
yeah. Anyway, so it's gonna be a while before Oculus. Like everyone is excited about the possibility of Oculus Rift, but it's gonna be a while before we see these in the hands of everyone.
Yeah.
Uh, Moving on to the one other big story with Kotaku doing a games journalism, and that's actually a good thing, mind you.
I mean, it usually is.
It usually is, but that like Kotaku does a games journalism is usually done as a joke, like said as a joke. And like for all the shit we give Kotaku, and they do some pretty shit stuff, and they're associated with Gawker and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But they are probably like one of the few outlets that actually does some genuine games journalism instead of being the megaphone of, what an IGN is and whatnot.
I know you don't particularly like them, but I find Polygon is fairly does some pretty good journalism.
Uh, you know, app. I disagree, but whatever.
Destructoid as well is a good site.
Well, Destructoid is where he wants to find out what the top five floppy dongs in video games are,
No,
or how
no,
amiibos,
that's where you go to thegymquisition.com.
and where you go and see how amiibos rank as butt plugs.
Yeah, I saw that headline come up. I didn't actually click on it, which in
It was
retrospect was surprising.
it was pretty amazing. I'll just say that. Like, go look for that article. It's pretty easy to find.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it.
Just watch out. Maybe you'll find some pics of someone actually doing it. But anyway, going back to the point, Kotaku has been pretty on the money when it comes to Assassin's Creed, or at least like Ubisoft stuff, because they correctly leaked Assassin's Creed Unity, then known as Comet, and Rogue. They did as well. They like those two games. They managed to get news on Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which was then known as Victory, which is a much better title than Syndicate, but whatever. Um, Now it seems that they've got their hands on more stuff regarding Assassin's Creed. Mainly that we're not getting a big one this year,
No, which is very interesting.
which is the first time since Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 came out, so between 2007 and 2009, where we don't get a yearly Assassin's Creed game. And mind you, we are going to talk about a Assassin's Creed game at some point soon, but not a big one. So it's
Quite the
basically just
opposite, in fact.
we are like it's not like we're not getting any Assassin's Creed this year. Like we'll mention the other thing, but there's also of course obviously the movie coming out with Michael Fassbender. But yeah, they announced that the new Assassin's Creed is probably going to be skipping 2016 as part of series slowdown. Sort of get people because even though Syndicate was more well received, it did I think it didn't sell as well as Unity did.
Really?
I don't think it sold a lot slower, I believe. I can't really confirm that or anything, but that does seem to be the case.
I mean, I sort of get that in the sense that
It had like Syndicate, despite being more well received, had the problem of coming after Unity, which was
yeah.
such a public disaster
See,
that it
the
just
the thing is like I think, and I include myself in this, that a lot of people are suffering just from franchise exhaustion. Like so many Assassin's Creed games come out, not only one every year, but like there's minor releases now and stuff, that just like make you wonder if it's really worth keeping up with it anymore. Like, I really liked 4, but Unity was so bad that I didn't really want to play it in the slightest. And so, I don't know. Syndicate, it apparently shared some problems with Unity, although it wasn't nearly as bad. But I think slowing down on Assassin's Creed is 100% a good thing to do.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good thing that they're just kind of. But we learned not just that. We learned that the then 2017 Assassin's Creed will apparently be codenamed Empire and be set in ancient Egypt.
Which is a good setting. Like,
I like the setting. Yeah.
I love that setting, and here's hoping they can recreate it without insulting anybody.
Yeah, it would also be the oldest set Assassin's Creed, I believe. I'm fairly certain it is because the I think that right now that's the Crusades.
Yeah, I don't know when. Yeah, because the Crusades are after they're
Yeah, that's like
AD.
middle Dark Ages.
Yeah,
So
they're AD, but ancient Egypt is definitely BC.
yeah, so then that's the oldest Assassin's Creed, which is
That's fun.
neat. But then also that in its place, because obviously Ubisoft is gonna have a big game on its October November release, is probably gonna be a Watch Dogs sequel set in San Francisco.
Maybe this one will be good. Hey, hey, hey.
Like Watch Dogs was, I think before Destiny came out, the highest selling new IP for like ever, basically.
It was
So that,
supposed to herald in it and Destiny were supposed to herald in the new generation of console hardware, and it
yeah, that didn't work out
no.
as hoped.
Instead, that was like Shadow of Mordor did a good job with that.
Seattle Moore did a good job with that. Yeah, I'd like us. Where's that sequel? I hope they announce that for, but like Warner Brothers get to that. I assume they're busy with it, but
I
yeah, I'd
kind
like
of
to.
hope it isn't Warner Brothers, though. I
It is
mean,
Warner Brothers. They own the Lord of the Rings license.
yeah, I know, but like after Arkham Knight,
Well, they still have Mortal Kombat X.
yeah, which apparently also didn't have the best launch, and didn't they also? Yeah, they had consumable
Yeah, the
fatalities,
fatalities. Yeah, but
which is just terrible.
well, let's like Shadow of Mordor was good with Warner Brothers, so let's just hope that Shadow of Mordor 2 is good as well. Theoretically, considering that it's as far as we know, it doesn't exist. Then there's some like just some weird news.
Well, there is
Like,
one piece of really good news, and that is that Psychonauts 2 got completely funded.
oh yeah, that's finally like they asked for 3.3 million, right?
Yes, but that's not going to be the total budget of the game.
Yeah, they like there's some other fun like
There's a separate investor who we don't actually know who or what that is, but they're also paying for part of it themselves.
okay. I almost get the feeling like that investor is maybe Notch because they did have like a brief talk of him funding Psychonauts 2, but
That would
then
be
that
fun. I would actually not be surprised now that you mention it. Let me see. They had a diagram. Yeah, there's an external partner, Double Fine, Fig Rewards, and Fig Investors. That's the 4 places the money would come from.
yeah. Either way, it's funded now and it still has how many days to go?
At time of recording, 4 days and 23 hours.
Okay. So it's probably gonna be like at the end, maybe like 3.8 million or something like that.
It's like it's almost at 3.4 now, so
Okay. It could be higher.
maybe I'm
Either
thinking
way,
I'm thinking it's gonna plateau relatively soon, actually.
yeah. Well, like a Kickstarter always makes like its most of its money at the beginning and the end of its of its campaign. But either way, it's funded, so it's hopefully happening.
Estimated delivery date will be February of 2018.
Which is 2 years away.
A little over 2 years, like
A
two
little
years
over
and a
two,
month,
yeah. So,
which
like,
probably means it'll be end of 2018, just because video game development.
yeah, true.
Not unique to Double Fine, might I add. Like, most, if not pretty much all games get delayed at some point.
Yeah, no,
Which is weird, because, like, people got really on Double Fine's case about it.
yeah, well, they were like one of the big ones. Like they were the big new Kickstarter that kind of started the whole revolution.
Yeah, but there's a really good critical miss comic that sort of describes it, where it's just like over budget late game, an over budget late game backed by a publisher, you're a perfectionist. An over budget late game backed by Kickstarter, you're an evil money stealing capitalist demon. It's just like
Yeah,
same situation, slightly different circumstances. Calm down, people.
yeah,
I mean,
agreed.
we've ragged on like Mighty Number Nine, but honestly, sort of the incompetence of the other campaign for like what was it called, Red Ashes or
Oh
something?
God, Red Ash.
Yeah, that didn't exactly inspire a lot of confidence, and the fact that it's been delayed like what 4 times by now.
Yeah, like it's got a solid release date now of February somewhere, I believe.
Yeah, I think beginning of February ish is
Yeah,
important
I'm looking
to note.
like February 9th, but like a lot of the reason was apparently that it's coming to like if you just look at the like I'm looking at the Wikipedia listing, like it's coming to so many consoles. It's it's kind of crazy. Like PC, Mac, Linux, PS4, Xbox One, PS3, Vita, Wii U, and Xbox 360 and 3DS.
And microwave and TI-84 calculator
Yeah, they
and
may have spread themselves a little too thin with some things, but whatever. It's coming out now, we think.
maybe
But
for real this time, but we'll see.
and we'll still have to wait a couple of years for Psychonauts 2. But we've waited long before that, so I think fans can wait a couple of years more.
Yeah,
I think they're
it's the wait has been like 15-ish years, so two
Psychonauts
extra
isn't
isn't gonna kill us.
Psychonauts isn't that old, right?
Um,
2005, six, 2005. I've got it here. So it's
what did
10
I
years
say
old.
then?
You said 15
Oh yeah,
years.
yeah. No. Yeah, 10 years old.
Okay. And just a quick little news story that isn't really news, but it's fucking weird, so I just want to discuss it a little bit.
Oh my God.
Louis Vuitton, big French, fashion
Clothing designer company
thing,
thing.
thing. Yeah, decided to have, like they have they're modeling their spring summer collection. The usual. Why are we talking about this? Because this doesn't seem like our forte. Because one of the models modeling this is Lightning from Final Fantasy 13. Yeah, that's happening.
It's at least it finally gives Square Enix something to do with their fancy, super powerful character rendering engine, other than making terrible games.
It's it's weird. Like you just don't really see this. Like maybe that's why they sort of did it, just for the publicity of it. Like Louis Vuitton is modeling using a video game character. Like you just don't see that, and she is like as bland and kind of bad of a character she is a pretty lady. I can't deny that.
It's just like there's the weird oh what's it called? Uncanny valley of like she looks real-ish, but not real, you know?
I
It's like
think
she's
it looks all right. Yeah,
it
she does
looks
look
like
okay.
a real woman with Lightning's head photoshopped onto there. you know?
Yeah,
And it's just uncomfortable to look at.
it's weird, but
It's so weird.
like you don't see that. Like I think, like I can only think of one example of this happening. That was when Laura Croft was super big in the late '90s, and she was used for the like she advertised like Seat, which is like a Spanish it's like a Spanish car company, but and also I believe like a soda at one point, and that was when she was like one of the biggest characters out there when because she had those big knockers,
Ah, yes, those giant
those giant
polygons.
triangles.
Polygons.
Yeah, those. But yeah. Besides that, we had nothing like it. Like we had Nathan Drake advertising Subway, but that was a cross promotion for Uncharted 3. And besides that, I can't really think of like besides the obvious, hey, look, we're using retro characters. Like, hey, remember Pac-Man? This is Pong and all that stuff.
We're using Tetris music to show how much space our American cars have. That makes sense, right?
Well,
Tetris, the USSR, Tetris,
well,
American cars, Tetris.
the Russian thing isn't really. It's like everyone just knows the music of Tetris and not, putting stuff together. But anyway, that's happening for some reason. It's weird. I kind of, I kind of enjoy it as sort of an outsider of this world. I'm just kind of curious how they are reacting to it. But you know what? Whatever. It's a thing. Um, Now for a segment we haven't done in a while because in December games like everything slows down to a crawl when it comes to game releases because like the Black Friday events have happened and then no and just sort of they're not going to buy any more games and do any more Christmas shopping, but that wait is over now. We actually have some video games to talk about that are coming out very soon. It's exciting stuff, actually. Actually, it's not really, except for one game which looks really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so at first coming out, and these are all coming out on April 12th, by the way, and one on April 15th. First one is Assassin's Creed Chronicles India. You may remember Assassin's Creed Chronicles China, which came out like last year,
Let me
one and a half.
let me stop you right there.
Okay,
Let me clarify that when he says April, he means January.
I mean January. Yeah, I'm not. I have no idea why I said April. That's anyway. On January 12th, we're getting Assassin's Creed Chronicles India, which is the semi-sequel to Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. It's like 2.5D Metroidvania-ish, like uses the Assassin's Creed elements in a 2D perspective and sets them in 18th, 19th century India when they were like at the height of the power of when the British were in control of India. It's interesting. Like I like these. Like the cool thing about Assassin's Creed is that it can explore all these historical events, and I guess these are like this can be used in order for more like smaller games. But we'll see how that goes. Then we have three ports. First one is Gone Home Console Edition.
A chance for everyone to experience the really genuinely good game that I have not played, Gone Home.
How much do you know about Gone Home, or
A few things.
uh,
I do own it, and it's one of those games that's it's like Life is Strange, where it's just like, I really want to play it, and it's really high up on my list, I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
I played it on PC. I thought it was okay. I don't under. I didn't really get like the huge hatred that so many had because SJW game
Have you
and
heard? It's not a real game.
that as well. And then
No, 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 you
the
don't understand. It's not a real game. It's a
right.
fake game.
Okay.
Only real games are games.
Okay.
And this is not a real game, so it isn't a game.
you make a fair argument. But if you haven't had the PC that could run it, you can have your opportunity now. And I was gonna make a joke, but that would be sort of spoilers of what Gone Home is all about. And maybe,
Lesbians is what I know about it, so.
oh, okay, more like Gone Homo, right?
Hey!
Ah!
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey!
No one's made that joke before. I coined it. But yeah, I just
Copyright
didn't really.
2016, don't steal original joke.
Yeah, but like Gone Home just didn't resonate with me like some of the critics, and then that's maybe you know, it's not really my. But go check it out and enjoy it and see if you like it or not. It's only like 2-3 hours or so, so we will. Then the other port is the Banner Saga, which was a big deal last like in 2014,
Yeah,
and it looks
it had a really successful crowdfunding campaign, and then it came out to decent reviews. I mostly know it because the soundtrack is really good.
yeah.
But I feel like it was developed by a studio. Well, obviously it was developed by a studio, but
It's
one that I
like
knew.
Stoic Games, I believe. I'm not sure what else they've done, but they're mostly like right now they're doing Banner Saga 2 as well. But
Okay.
like ba- like
Oh yeah, it's their the Banner Saga is their only game, I think,
uh
but it's made by people who worked with it's made by people who used to work at BioWare.
oh yeah, like I remember that. But yeah, so if you've never had the chance to play it, like I don't think my PC could run Banner Saga, so I'm happy that I can maybe give it a shot on PS4
I
or
hope you like
Vita.
turn-based tactics because that's what this game is.
I know it is. The other port is Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, which is coming to PC after being out on 360 and PS3 in 2012.
I am really excited for that game actually. I've heard like a lot of good things about Dragon's Dogma. It
Yeah.
it might be my go-to fantasy RPG for a while, considering it will probably cost less than The Witcher 3.
Well, Witcher 3 is like most CD Projekt Red games go on sale constantly.
That's true.
So
I
like
might actually end up getting Witcher 3 on PC, come to think of
it's
it.
like
I'll have to
30
check
like it goes for $30 quite a bit.
I'll have to check my specs, see if I can actually run Witcher 3. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, but that's coming out. But like the big game, or well, big is relative here. It's the most interesting game that is coming out uh, during this time slot, and that's That Dragon Cancer.
Mm,
As you can tell by that, kind of offbeat title, this is an art game.
wow,
Games
it
are
straight
art.
up says in the Wikipedia that it is an art game.
Yep. So it's
Oh, honey, no.
what?
Apparently, it was initially aimed for release as a time limited exclusive for the Ouya.
Oh god! Remember the Ouya?
Oh. I saw a
Ah,
picture of the Ouya a couple days ago where it's just like someone had just opened the box, and on the inside it said, "Thank you for believing." And that was the
uh,
saddest picture I've seen in a while.
yeah, like the Ouya. That's it was planned for that for quite a bit, but then Ouya funded a lot of the game,
And then
but
they
then
fell apart.
yeah, and then they had a Kickstarter campaign to get it on PC and Mac, and that's happening now. So if you don't know what That Dragon Cancer is, it's basically a game that explores the life of Ryan and Amy Green, who had a child that unfortunately suffered from terminal cancer and was presumed to have very short time, but ended up living for 4 more years until he died at the age of 5. All kind of sad stuff, and he wanted they wanted to make a game to sort of show their experience of going through that, like both the good times and the bad. And yeah, I would like to see that sort of get that sort of like that's not a perspective you really get to see, and especially not in terms of a game.
No, it's it's a very different. I don't know. I don't really feel like this has been tackled very much before, and so I'll definitely be interested to play it because this is just like not something that I've personally experienced. I mean, I haven't had children, so I don't know what that's like. But I think that the interactive that going interactive was probably the best move for this because if it's done well,
Yeah,
it can be extremely immersive and that much more heart wrenching um,
yeah,
than say a movie. So I'm glad that they went the game route. It's
yeah,
really like I think it'll be it has the potential to be amazing, honestly, and I don't want to use that word I don't want to overuse that word, but this game can legitimately be amazing if it's done right.
yeah. Definitely. Like I'm sort of like I think we've like a lot of people have experienced loss of a family member. Like I've never had kids and I haven't lost any, so that's but I have lost family members and I've lost family members through cancer, and that's sort of seeing that experience done in a game, especially in such a you know like a very personal look in what they have experienced. That just seems very interesting to me. Sort of like getting a look, like a very intimate look at that. And, you have to wonder how much of it is a game. But I'm very curious to see it. Like, it definitely has my attention. Like, like, if it's good as a game or not, kind of almost doesn't matter. It, like, what really matters is how it tackles and explores the subject matter. But that's my opinion on it, at least.
Yeah. So moving on.
Okay.
After that
Uh,
slight downer,
Yeah, that was a bit of a downer, cancer. That, no one likes cancer. So let's,
second time this episode that we've gotten really real.
yeah, you just have to have those moments of realness. We are people, after all.
Hmm.
But anyway, it's 2016, and we've got a whole bunch. And 2016 is filled with lots of video games. Of course, a lot of them we don't know are coming out yet. I mean, for example, we didn't know Fallout 4 was officially a thing until like May. But there's been a whole bunch of games that have a semi-confirmed release date for 2016.
All aboard the hype train! Choo choo!
Yes, indeed. We're going on that hype train and hopefully not be disappointed. So, well,
In the
event
video
like
game industry, that's an almost inevitable.
yeah, we've picked 5 games each of games that we're really excited for. We're gonna go through them not too fast, but we are gonna make it a little quick. Not to waste a lot of time. And we picked 5 different games each. So how about Gear? You start with the game that you're excited about the most.
The one game or the five?
We'll just go through one of them each.
Oh shit. I'll just go with the one that's soonest, and that's Hyrule Warrior Legends for 3DS.
Okay, this one that comes out the earliest.
Yeah, that's this month.
Okay. Yeah, that's coming up pretty darn soon, and I haven't played much of the original Hyrule Warriors on Wii U, but it's
I obviously haven't played any of it.
but it's cool that they managed to put that game on a 3DS and then add even more content to it in terms of characters you can play.
Yeah, and like I've said before, Dragon Quest Heroes has really sold me on the genre, so now I'm like extra excited for this because apparently Hyrule Warriors is really good.
Hyrule Warriors is apparently really good. If you like your Zeldas, that's always
I mean, I'm playing a Zelda game right now. Literally, the 3DS is currently on.
yeah. I feel kind of bad that only one of my games has a confirmed release date, and then the inevitable disappointment of games being delayed. You have to take that into account of like like there's one game I think is gonna definitely be delayed to March to like 2017. But anyway, the game I'm probably most excited about is yeah, Persona 5.
Ah, yes, the perpetually delayed Persona 5.
Yeah, like summer. I think it was originally summer 2014. Like, well, no, wait, it was always a 2015 release, I believe.
All
But
right,
now,
I think in the first announcement they didn't actually give a release date or something. I can't actually remember all that well.
oh, it was like they gave a cryptic announcement, like a tease with the chairs and all that. Like, you are slave, want emancipation or something like that, and it was all red and stuff. And then it was like winter 2014 for the PlayStation 3. That didn't happen. Then
Ooh.
then it was announced for release. Then I got a cool new trailer for PS, and then also announced it would be coming to PS4 in 2015. And now it's been delayed to mid 2016, but it's actually happening. We can only hope, and I certainly hope that the English version will also be coming to the West. In 2016 as well,
Oh
because
yeah,
you
that's
never
a
know.
concern as well. Localization.
Especially with Europe, like
I
they've
don't know
been
what
recently not.
Atlas's beef with Europe is, but we never get anything.
It's really really weird, but it's been a bit better. Like Persona Q, for example, came out 3 days after the North American version, and I think Ultimax did okay. So did Dancing All Night, and I think that was all Nipponichi. I want to say, like I'm not sure, but either way, like if it comes out in the U.S. earlier, and that's almost definitely gonna happen, I'm just gonna pre-order it from there and just import it because I need me some Persona 5, man. I want it. Gimme. I don't know how you stand on the Persona 5,
I don't
but
know. I've only ever played a little bit of Persona 3 and that's my entire experience with the franchise. So I don't know what to think. I have nothing to add to this.
okay. Well, moving on. What's your next game you're excited for?
I'm just gonna keep going chronologically. Firewatch.
Firewatch. This is a game I'll have to admit I don't know a whole lot of about, other than it's like first person. It looks very pretty.
It
I'll give
does
it
look very
that.
pretty, and that's like
It's
the
it's a first
concept intrigues me.
like sell me on it because I'm a bit like I'm still not sure what exactly this game is, and it's coming out in like a month.
Well, you're a fire watchman. It's got a gorgeous art style, and it tells the story of specifically a fire watch person in the aftermath of the Yellowstone fires of 1988.
I don't know what that is.
Apparently, it was a very major fire in Yellowstone Park.
Okay, it could be interesting. I'm not like again. I have very little to say really about it because I don't know exactly what it is. But I'm like Sony has been big on selling it in their indie.
It's got some really talented people behind it. Campo Studio, it's the first game by them, but it was founded by the creative leads of Telltale's The Walking Dead, um,
Ooh,
the lead designer of Mark of the Ninja,
oh,
and other names who I don't immediately recognize.
okay. Well, I guess we'll find out in a month when it comes out.
Yep.
Uh, my game, another game I'm super excited for. I've mentioned it before that I'm a big fan of Mass Effect. I don't know if I've said that enough, but I am, and I'm really, and even after Mass Effect 3, I'm still very much looking forward to Mass Effect Andromeda and see what they do. Like, obviously, we know extremely little about the game right now, and hell, we don't even know if it's gonna come out in 2016. Like, right now, it's fourth quarter, and it's been in development for a while, but it just seems like a game that's inevitably going to be delayed. But for now, let's keep hoping it actually comes out.
Mm-hmm. My next one is No Man's Sky.
I think a lot of people are excited for this, and I am as well. It looks rad.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like how much, like I do feel like that there needs to be some sort of purpose, but we'll see. Like,
Exploration is a good enough purpose.
yeah, but what do you get from the exploration? But you know what? We'll see.
Bragging
I'm
rights.
super, yeah, I'm super impressed that like this is like a studio of 9 people,
Something along those
10,
lines, yeah.
10 people, and that's insane. And I'm just curious that if they can pull this off, there's some really talented people over at Hello Games.
Yeah.
Like the Joe Danger games are okay. They're fun for what they are. They're very Excite Bike-esque. But nothing could like I could never imagine they could create something like this. But yeah, we'll see. It has a release date in June, and we can only hope it comes out then. Another game that I'm super like I'm going to my game now is Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. Let's ignore the augment your pre-order shenanigans that went on for a while and
Square
realize
Enix
the
would
fact,
definitely like you to ignore them.
yeah, and they've been shut down with they shut that down. So let's just realize the fact that it's been 5 years since that it's been almost 5 years since Deus Ex Human Revolution. They
A
haven't made a
shorter
new,
time since the definitive edition, mind.
yeah,
Which is
true,
like the
but
better one that made the bosses slightly less garbage.
exactly, but you know, like there's so like I love me a good cyberpunk game, and Deus Ex fills that itch quite well. And
Have you ever played Shadowrun?
I have a bit of I've played a bit of Shadowrun, yeah, but yeah, I love also a good stealth game as well. And I feel like this is actually gonna make me. This actually will allow me to go the stealthy route that the original Human Revolution didn't really allow.
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping they learned to like design actual boss fights that
It seems like they have because with the boss fights, they gave them away to someone else, like to another developer who didn't really understand Deus Ex,
okay.
and it was kind of like,
That seems a
maybe
bit silly.
it was silly, and they've admitted as such. But yeah, Mankind Divided, I want that. I really want that. And I'm like kind of disappointed it's got pushed so far. Like it was originally going to come out in February, and now it's in August. But you know what? It's event like we can only hope that this is for the best, and we'll get a good Deus Ex out of it.
Here's
Yep,
hoping.
yeah. Here's hoping. So that's number 3 on my end. What's number 4 for you?
The Last Guardian.
Oh God, that's actually happening now.
Yes.
It's actually happening.
I am a huge fan of Shadow of the Colossus,
Yeah,
and I need more of Team Ico in my life. And The Last
yes.
Guardian, I want it to be good. I really, really want it to be good.
Yeah, I agree. I want it to be good as well. It's been in development for so long, and it's been a bit of a mess in terms of its, the development that went on with it. Like Sony Japan has helped a lot with it now, and there was the whole drama with Team Ico, like with Fumi Ueda leaving and all that. But that it's actually now happening. A game that people like it's almost like Half-Life 3 in that sense, like a game we've been waiting for so long.
Except this one's actually happening.
Except it,
Ayo!
yeah, and now it's just sort of we can we can only hope for the best that it's actually everything that we hope for, and that it's the next Team Ico game. And they've made too few game. They made only 2 games. They deserve to have made like a hell of a lot more. But even in that time span, they like Ico and Shadow of the Colossus are both amazing games. So they've got a pretty good track record. Uh, got anything more to add about Last Guardian or?
I mean, what is there to say about The Last Guardian? It's just, I need it in my life, and I need it
Okay,
very soon.
yeah. My game that I'm like my other game is the new Legend of Zelda. Which I hope is finally coming out. Again, like Mass Effect Andromeda, we actually know very, very little about this new Zelda game, other than that it's open world. And I've talked before about the open world fatigue that I've sort of been having. But Nintendo tackling a non-linear Zelda, especially after we mentioned Link Between Worlds, which does that really well, makes me extremely curious what they can do with it. And they've sort of experienced it with the Xenoblade Chronicles X as well, which has a great open world as well. And it's Zelda. Like Zelda just is like it's quality. You're getting a good game when you're getting Zelda, and it's
Yes,
obviously
every Zelda game ever has always been
e-
perfect.
exactly.
Everyone, even Link's crossbow training.
Exactly. That's the best Wii Zapper game of all time. But yeah, like it's also probably the swan song for the Wii U until when the NX comes out. So there's that.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're also making an NX version.
I wouldn't be surprised either. But it does seem like that's going to be the case. But for now, we'll see. And finally, what's the game you are super duper excited for? The last one that we still don't know.
Earth Defense Force 4.1 HD,
Oh,
which is
you know,
already out in America, and I'm really annoyed because I have heard nothing about a European release.
oh, okay. I thought you were going to say Horizon Zero Dawn, but you know,
That is also true, but I love me some Earth Defense Force, and I don't know enough about Horizon Zero Dawn to talk about it competently.
it just seems like more of the same. You kill more bugs, but whatever, you do you, and be excited for that. The last game that I am gonna talk about that I'm super excited for is, I've talked about some mature games, except maybe Zelda, with Mass Effect Andromeda and Deus Ex Mankind Divided. But sometimes I want something a little more fun and something more delightful, and that's gonna be Ukulele for me. As a huge fan of rare style 3D platformers, ones that we don't get anymore because games are expensive and the platformer genre is more rooted in 2D. But man, this looks so good, and it's like so many of the original people who made such classics as Donkey Kong 64, as Conker's Bad Fur Day. To see that finally, make a new game in that style is just. It's been the game we've wanted Rare to make for at least 15 years. And that's just my opinion on it. Like it's one of the first. It's the only Kickstarter I've ever contributed to.
Really?
Yeah,
Just
I
the
did it
one?
through. Yeah, that's the one because I love Nintendo 64 3D platformers. I really love that genre, and that genre is so dead pretty much.
I mean,
That
there's
any chance
oh, what's it called?
a Hat in Time
A
that's
Hat in
coming as well.
Time. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
pre-ordered that, I think.
I haven't ordered that, but I should actually. I should do that. But yeah, those are the 5 games that I'm super excited for.
I'd like to retract my previous statement
Uh huh.
about Earth
What statement?
Defense Force not having a EU release.
Uh huh.
Apparently it's coming out next month,
Oh, okay.
February
Well, have fun
12th,
with that.
2016.
Okay. Well, have fun with that.
I
I do not.
hope I will. It looks a lot like a lot of fun. I mean, you you get into a giant robot and fight kaiju. Like,
What more do you need?
exactly, what more do you need in life?
Yeah. Well, I think that is about it in terms of the G1 Features podcast. You know, it's 2016. We're gonna hopefully do this the whole year through. That's gonna be fun.
Here's hoping.
Here's hoping. It's gonna be an interesting year then. You can follow me on at the Madhero on Twitter. You can follow G1 Features where we do all kinds of stuff on at the Scroovies, this G1 interviews, all that good stuff. And don't you forget, vote for G1 of the year. Doesn't have to be me, but I'd like you just a little bit more if you do, or go for Smoke 108, Mario Miyamoto, or Abrams X. All three good choices.
All four of you are very worthy candidates.
You're not as good as me. Okay, nah, I'm joking. They're great. They're
I
great
really
people.
hope for your sake that whisper shows up on the recording, or else that moment of silence is just going to be really weird.
We'll see. And where can they follow you?
You can follow me at Gear12 underscore Turbo on Twitter, where, I don't know, I talk about wrestling sometimes nowadays.
Don't follow him, guys.
I've
Unless
gone
you like
down that
wrestling.
rabbit hole.
Unless you
I'm
like
too
wrestling.
far gone. I have the WWE Network. They own my soul.
Insert John Cena meme here. Or
Dun,
something like that.
dun, dun.
But
Ooh, fun fact, or rather not fun
he,
fact, he
he's
is
injured, right?
injured now.
Out for how long?
Long enough to probably miss WrestleMania.
And when is WrestleMania?
Beginning of April.
That's quite a while. So,
Yeah,
best of luck, Mr. John Cena, sir.
he's one of the 15-ish people who is out for injury right now.
I liked him when he popped up in that one Dragon Ball Z video. And Trainwreck. He was actually pretty good in Trainwreck. That was
Apparently,
fun.
he was really good in Sisters as well.
I haven't seen that. But, yeah. Best of luck, Mr. Cena, sir. And you guys have a wonderful 2016. Bye, everyone.
You can't see us!